Detective Ken Freegia, FREGIA, HPD homicide. Earlier today, a citizen works for a local taxi cab company, noticed the car sitting here in the parking lot. She did the right thing. She called into Missouri City PD, I believe, is who she called first. She may have called Sugar Land, I'm not sure. But we do have Missouri PD here on the scene. That was relayed. Once that was called in, they relayed that to Houston Police Department, to our office. The detectives on the case, we were notified, and we headed out here. The license plate does match the license plate for the car we have been looking for. The car was unlocked when we got here. Initial appearance of the car's clean, and I don't mean that as somebody's cleaned it. It's just the car looks normal. There's no obvious signs of anything happening in the car. There's no obvious, at first glance, there's no signs of anything in the car right now. We are going to have it towed and taken to the HPD lot and have our crime scene and process it there. So that's currently what we're waiting on right now.
Detective, what's the status with the father? Are you continuing to question him? Is he even accounted for right now, the stepfather?
We have not spoken to him in a couple days. We've reached out to him to come in and maybe do a sketch and do a sketch of the suspects that may have been involved in the abduction. But we have not been able to coordinate that with him yet. He has not come in.
Is he missing?
I don't know that. I just know that each time we have tried to talk to him or have him come in, we have been unsuccessful. So I can't say he's missing. I don't know. We have not had any contact with him in the last few days.
When was the last time you spoke with him?
I believe that would have been maybe on the weekend, maybe Saturday, I believe.
Saturday, the day he ended up at the hospital?
Don't quote me on that, but I wasn't involved in that interview. I think Saturday, I know for sure we spoke to him then, but since then, I don't believe we have.
So just the one initial interview?
As far as I know.
Are you guys actively searching for him?
Us in conjunction with local law enforcement, we've had a bolo out on the car, hoping we'd find him with it. We've obviously found the car, but yeah, we're still looking for him.
Are you worried that you can't find
the tires? You know, he had said he heard a pop and he was checking it out. What is the condition of the car and the significance of that? If you're able to give us anything.
The car looks fine. Everything looks normal on the car. The tires look okay. Doesn't mean they weren't changed at some point. I don't know. I don't have anything on that really.
How were you alerted to this and when? Can you take us through the timeline?
I don't know the exact timeline, but like I said earlier, a citizen saw the car, called the local PD, Missouri City or Sugar Land. I think it was Missouri City. They contacted us, and we came out here.
Have you guys gone inside the car, the trunk, the inside of it?
We looked inside. We haven't done any searching for anything. We just took a glance inside because it was bright. The windows were semi-tinted, and everything, like I said, looked normal, like a normal car.
The trunk?
The trunk looks normal too.
Are the keys in there?
I did not see the keys in the car.
Are you worried that you can't find the stepfather?
No,
Is he considered a person of interest?
I would like to talk to him, but right now, I'm not concerned that we haven't found him. We're not. No, I'm not concerned about it.
Isn't it suspicious the last person that saw him you can't find?
You would think that if your loved one is missing, that you'd be coming forward, and so he may have a legitimate reason. I haven't spoken with him.
What does surveillance video show?
Right now, we're still trying to pull that and see what the angles of the cameras are. I have not personally viewed those, so we have officers in these businesses looking at to see if there's any cameras focused on the parking lot, and of course, if there is, we're going to backtrack and get everything we can.
You said it looks like a normal car. I can't see a child's seat. What else is in there?
Just miscellaneous clothes, papers. It's a clean car.
Is there a child seat in there?
Yeah, I believe I saw one in there. Yeah.
Just one?
I heard there was a child seat found somewhere nearby.
I haven't heard anything about that. All I know is what's going on right here in this parking lot in front of you. Okay?
What's your message to family and loved ones who have been covering and following this?
Just keep praying that we find her safe and sound. If you have any information about that, call your local police department. And give as much detail as you can. We have a lot of tips where people call in and say, I saw her.
Are you still
No, I need an address. I need a time. I need who she was with. A car, anything else that would help. Just to say that I saw her, doesn't do us any good.
And you've received a lot of information, or how has the public helped with this investigation?
We obviously, a citizen today found the car. We have a lot of Crime Stopper tips coming in, and we follow up on each one of those.
We heard thousands.
Probably in that ballpark. I can't state on that.
You guys have been working with Texas EquiSearch to identify areas that you want them to search. Are there any
Correct.
particular places, now that the car has been discovered, that you want them to be looking for Maleah?
Once we look at the video surveillance and see if anything comes out of that, we'll be able to get with Tim and his guys and his people and maybe focus on a certain area. But right now, due to the weather and the flooding, we've kind of suspended the search. We haven't stopped looking for Maleah, but due to the weather, I think it was put out that Tim suspended the search a little bit. It was for the safety of his own people, and they have family and loved ones they have to take care of too when it's flooding. So.
What are your next steps?
Right now, the next steps, we're going to go ahead and take the car back to HPD, process it, see if we can get any fingerprints off of it, and just go over it with a fine-tooth comb and see if we see anything.
Detectives, a lot of viewers have questions.
We are following up on tips because we have tips coming in on the Crime Stoppers with the pickup, and of course, we're following up on those. We have to, but we haven't had any luck finding that truck yet.
Can you talk about the condition of the sibling?
sorry?
The sibling that was the stepfather claims he regained consciousness.
I honestly, I don't know.
Is he in good condition and with family now?
I haven't heard anything to the contrary of that. I believe all the children are okay, are fine, and they're with family. And they're, I don't think there's anything there.
Was there anything wrong with one of the tires?
I did not see anything wrong with any of the tires.
Have police contacted Maleah's daycare?
Yes, they have been interviewed early on last week, or earlier in the week.
When was the last time Maleah showed up to daycare?
I didn't interview anybody at the daycare. I didn't go out there. I'd have to look at those notes and see. I can't tell you that.
Do you know
Really,
if
he
the
can
stepfather was
focus on
dropping
this
off the
part of the
1-year-old and not
investigation.
dropping off Maleah?
I don't know. Like I said, all we got here today is we're going to tow the car, process it, and see where that takes us. It may not take us anywhere. It may take us right where we need to go. And I'm sure you all hear about it once we finish that process.
So if there are no more questions about this scene, the detective has to go.
Okay. Any other questions about this scene?
Do they know when the car got here?
No, ma'am, not yet. We're trying to look at the video to see when it was dropped off.
Thank you, detective.
Thank you.